Greetings and salutations. Good morning, everyone. I just woke up. And we know the drill, right? Oh, I am so happy. Man, like way off topic, but man, I just woke up and I've been watching and bidding on some vintage estate pipes on eBay, and I just got me I just got me a vintage estate Peterson P-lip 317 system standard pipe for like cheap. I'm like so freaking excited. This pipe is like a tobacco store pipe. I paid $10 for it. It's crap. It's thin. In fact, last night I broke it. I broke the stem, and while I was trying to get the piece of the stem out that was broken down in the bent, I cracked the pipe like right here, and then I was so upset. I'm like, whoa, my pipe and everything. But then I got up this morning and I actually finally won an auction on a pipe that I really wanted. Like, this pipe will be like my forever pipe. And I'm like super excited and happy. Thank the spirits. Hey, finally, let me win one. But looking back, those other ones, they weren't the right ones. I didn't really want them as bad as I wanted this one that I actually won. So, yeah. Never question the spirits. We gotta get the smoke going before I start talking to y'all. Just woke up. Oh, that tastes good. And hopefully this new one will stay lit better too. This pipe, this is a terrible, cheap, horrible pipe. I've only had it a month, if that, and it's already broke and fucked up. It's terrible. It burns my hand when I smoke it. It's a horrible pipe. Cheap tobacco store pipe. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about some serious soul-searching fucking shit. Okay. There was a post last night in a group, and I was giving advice, and everyone loved my advice and my comments and everything, but then someone asked a really good question, okay, and this is a really, really good question, and we're gonna delve into a what's the word? Physiological, no? Psychological, theo-psychological realm, okay? And I say, I know it's annoying. I can't even help it. I realize I say it because, I'm trying, these videos are hard, okay? If any of you haven't done videos, it's hard to sit here and do a video and then think of everything you wanted to say, think of the right things, the right terminology. And I say because I'm thinking. I'm trying to think of what words to use and the right things to say pertaining to whatever subject. So if I'm saying a lot in a video, it's because I'm thinking really hard about what words need to come out and how to express myself and everything the proper way. So, someone asked a really, really good question. Okay, they asked, the discussion was pertaining to a newbie in a community, and she made a post that, like, she did a breakup jar and it worked, and she was so proud of herself. She'd done a breakup jar on her ex, her baby's daddy, her ex, who was in a long-term 7-year relationship with another woman, and she broke them up, and she was so happy and proud of herself. But at the end of the post, she came back and said, you know, but there's still an issue because now the baby daddy is not speaking to her or the child, and she didn't understand what was going on. And I explained this to her that this. Well, first I asked her 3 questions, okay? And I've done this on previous videos, you know, the balance, what's it worth, is it worth it, what are you gaining, all that. So I asked her 3 questions, and I said, what was the purpose, okay? Before you sit down and do any work, you need to reflect before you react and ask yourself, what is the purpose of doing this, okay? The second question was, oh my God, what was the second question? What was the reason? The second question was, what is the reason for this work? Okay? And the third question is, what is gained? What was gained from the work? And I asked her those 3 questions, and she really couldn't answer me. And then she finally actually did come back and say, you know, it was wrong, it was an unjustified work, and I explained to her that now she kind of soured him against her and the child as well. And, I mean, she went on to explain other things. He's like a womanizer, and he's a bad guy, and like this and that, and she's doing a honey jar on him now, and like this, you know, people, spirits are spirits, and we all have spirits. Even if you're not a spiritual person, you at least have your spiritual square, and you have your ancestors. All of us have spirits, okay? And whether you acknowledge them, whether you venerate them and honor them, they're still with you, okay? And they're still affecting your life. And if the spirit takes something away from you, okay, if you lose something, even if you don't understand it, okay, you guys, a lot of you are really young, okay? You got to get up in your 40s and older to be able to look back 10, 20 years ago and go, wow, this was the reason for that happening. And at the time, it's a catastrophe. It's the worst thing that could ever happen, and you don't understand it, and it's horrible. But the spirits, especially if you're not working with any other spirits, but like your ancestors and stuff, they're going to look out for your best interest. They're never going to do something that's going to hurt you. I mean, it might hurt you temporarily, like if your boyfriend leaves, your girlfriend leaves, or you lose a job or something like that, but your spirits will never take something away just to be cruel. Okay, the spirits usually only, there's 2 reasons that they take things away from you. One is to teach a lesson. Okay, so like if you're throwing work out there that's unjustified, you're going to have a sacrifice, and you're going to pay the balance, and they're going to take something away from you to teach a lesson. And I actually had to step in last night and point the lesson out to this girl, and she actually totally understood and agreed on the whole thing. And I mean, I had to do that, you know, because that's my task. I am tasked with trying to help people. So I, you know, pointed out the lesson that was being taught, and she's seen it, you know, and she understood. So the 2 reasons why spirits will remove something from you is to teach a lesson, okay? So if you're doing unjust shit, there'll be a sacrifice, and it'll be to teach a lesson on whatever you're doing, on something else, you know. So it's to teach a lesson so you learn something. And the second reason the spirits will take something from you is to replace it with something better. Okay, your spirits are not out to harm you. They're there to guide you and help you. You are their blood. Okay, your ancestors are your blood. You carry their DNA and the family name and the family line and like all that. And why would they want to hurt you? Okay, they always have your best interest. And even if it doesn't seem so at the time, you lose your job, you know, they took that job away from you because it was probably something you were unhappy with. It was probably not paying you enough. It was probably too much work for what you're getting out of it. And if they take that away from you, it's because there's something better for you coming up over the horizon. Okay, they'll give you a better replacement when they take something away. It's to replace it with something better for you. If they take a relationship away from you, it's because it's not good for you. And that there is a better one, maybe the right true one, right up over the hill. Okay, so don't ever fret when these things happen. Trust in your spirits and know that they're always looking out for your best interest. Okay, but some of them get mad sometimes, you know, if you're not venerating your ancestors, if you're not honoring them, or if you start honoring them and then you stop. That upsets them very much. They don't like it when you start and stop. Okay, even, I mean, you should do it every day, but I understand, you know, a lot of people don't have time. They're busy, busy, busy. They got a big family and everything, and they just can't do it every day. At least, in the very least, venerate them once a week. I mean, but once you start doing it, you can't stop, because that'll just upset them even more. It's like you're paying attention to them, and all of a sudden you stop paying attention to them. And they are becoming elevated, and then you stop, and they're kind of stuck. You know, they count on you to elevate them and venerate them so they can become a higher level spirit. So there was a question asked on that post, and someone asked, because I was, you know, referring to balance and justice and sacrifice and lessons learned and everything, and someone asked, why, if everything has to be balanced and just, why is so much bad allowed to exist? And why do the people that do bad things seem to have a much easier and better life? Okay, and this is like a proverbial question. I mean, this is the same thing as asking what's the meaning of life. You know, no one can really know. Other than, I mean, obvious balance, you know, for good, there's bad. You know, there has to be a balance. If it's all good, then there ain't no balance, right? There has to be light and dark. There has to be good and bad. That balance has to be there. So the bad people and the people that do bad things have to exist, okay? But and it's always said, you know, it is easier. It is much easier to do bad than it is to do good. It's hard to do good. You know, it's really hard. But, as spiritual, as conjurers, as root workers, as witches, as spiritualists, and spiritual people, and shamans, we are held to a higher standard with the spirits. Okay, we should know better when we do something. We should know about the balance and the sacrifice and justice. Okay, we should know that shit. We should know better. So the spirits hold us to a higher accountability than, you know, some standard Joe Schmo on the street who doesn't hear his spirits at all. So when we do something, we have to make sure it's justified and that it's for balance. The universe cries out for justice. Okay, and I've said this many times on my videos, as workers, as conjurers, as witches, whatever you want to call yourself. The dogs are getting rowdy. Lay down. As workers, conjurers, witches, spiritualists, whatever you refer to yourself as, the spirits hold us to a much higher standard. Okay, and they look to us to not be bystanders when we see injustice. Okay, It's like, you know, if you're walking down the street and you see a murder and you clearly see the murderer, you see the murder happen, but you don't say anything. Okay? It's like that. We as spiritualists, now a normal Joe Schmo person could get away with that. Okay, and there will still be some kind of balance and payment for that, for doing that. But as workers, we are held to a much higher standard with the spirits, okay? And they look to us as messengers. We are their messengers, and they look to us as messengers to try and make things right and to not stand by and witness wrongdoings and unjustified things. Okay, we're kind of charged with that. They look to us to do that, and if we don't do that, our lives ain't going to be very good, and our spirits are not going to be very happy with us, and they'll show it, you know, through your life, through what happens to you. And I also explained that the people, like the bad people, just doing bad things all the time and seem like they're getting away with it and seem like their lives are so much easier than the people who are trying to do the right thing and the justified thing and the good thing. Those people are going to pay for it, okay? Usually, you know, like 85% of the time, those people don't live very long. They die very young, okay? They don't live to become elders. Or they go to jail for whatever they're doing, and that they sacrifice their whole life. They might live to be an old man in jail, but they ain't got no life, you know. And as people, I mean, we are only, I'm sure everybody has heard this, we are nothing but spirits having a human experience. Okay? In this body, in this human body, is a spirit. And we choose to come and inhabit and have this human experience. Okay? That's all we are. We're spirits having a human experience. And when you die, you're not taking any of this human shit with you. You're not taking your car, your house, your you know, your Gucci shoes and your Chanel purse and your money and all this shit. You're not taking none of that with you. None of that matters. What you're taking with you is your spirit. Okay, and I personally believe that the reason we have to go through these trial and errors and we are put in bodies to have these experiences is because our spirit has to grow. Okay, we have to learn something through our experience and while we're here. That's the point of being here. We have to learn and grow and elevate from it. And those people who are doing bad things all the time, they're going to keep coming back and coming back and coming back and going through shit and going through shit and going through shit. They're never going to elevate, or if they do elevate, it's going to take, you know, 300,000 years or like something to like elevate and enough to be able to sit with their ancestors. Okay? Me personally, I am pretty damn sure that I am pretty close. I am pretty close to taking my seat with my ancestors when I'm dying out. Now, hopefully I have a lot of life left. Hopefully I have a lot more that I need to do and that I'm going to do and it's going to be done. Hopefully that will happen. But as I've stated in previous videos, I met with my ancestors in a dream. And there was a chair ready for me. Okay, there was a seat. But I was instructed that I cannot take that seat until I complete the tasks that were set out for me to do. And that's the whole reason I'm making the videos. That's the whole reason I'm in the groups giving advice and trying to help people, because that was my first task, was to help people. The only way I know how to do it right now in my current situation is by doing these videos, and hopefully I am helping some of y'all. I'm hoping, you know. If not, I don't know. I'm just trying to help. I'm trying to do a task that was put for me so when I die, I can take that seat. Okay, because that is my goal. To take that seat with my ancestors. That is the whole point of my life. And everything I do, I have that in the back of my head. Everything I do, you know, I ask myself, is this furthering my path to take that seat? And if it's not, I don't do that shit, okay? I mean, and that's me personally. You guys might have a different experience, you know? But yeah, I just wanted to do this little video and kind of put that, I mean, like, all this is, like I said, we're going into theoretical philosophy, psychology kind of area, and this is just kind of my, you know, personal opinion. I don't know, that's just the way I see it. Some people might see it different. If you got a different view on this shit, leave me a comment. You know, I love to hear different opinions, and that helps me grow, you know, and further my road on shit. You know, you always need to look at things from every angle. We had another discussion last night, and again, it was back on the animal sacrifice stuff, and you always got to remember the old saying that what is normal for the spider is chaos for the fly. Okay, that's balance. So just because you see something a certain way, you gotta flip it around and always look at it from the other perspective. You gotta do that in like everything, and especially when you're doing work and conjure, you gotta flip that around and look at it from the receiving end of that. Okay, and like I said, before you sit down and do anything, ask yourself 3 questions. What is the purpose? What is the reason? And what do you want to gain from it? Like that girl, you know, that made the post last night, I asked her that, and I came back and I'm like, but what did you gain from it? And, you know, she kind of said that she didn't want the guy back. That's not why she did it. She succeeded in souring him even more towards her and the child, which was the purpose, was to get rid of the 7-year girlfriend, because she thought that the girlfriend was the issue of why he wasn't paying attention to the child and everything. But it turns out that the guy is just kind of a low-life guy, you know. And so even after she got rid of the girlfriend, he's even more not paying attention to the child. And so nothing was gained from what she did. And she didn't even do it to, like, get the guy back. So really, what was the point of that? You know, I mean, you get... And then to turn around and be boastful and, oh, I did this spell and it worked, and oh, I'm so proud of myself, and you're just the messenger, man. Drop that ego. And as I told her, the spirits do not let work manifest without a reason. Okay? So they let this work go through and manifest, and let the breakup happen, and let the souring rebound happen on her and the child and everything. And it was obviously to teach a lesson, because I came and pointed out the lesson. Okay, it was obviously let that go through to teach a lesson. And it was probably a lesson on many levels. Like, it taught her a lesson. It's probably going to teach him a lesson. It's probably going to teach the girlfriend that got split up, is probably going to teach her a lesson. Everyone is probably going to learn from this, which is why the spirits actually let it manifest. Nothing manifests. I don't care what you do. Nothing manifests without the spirits say so. They don't let it go through. And it's always to either teach a lesson. Hi, kitty. He gets his cone off tomorrow. Poor little bugger. It's always to either teach a lesson or to put something better in your path. That's the way I see it. And I think that's pretty true. So, I'm going to end this video. You want to say hi to my Kiku? Say hi. Oh, poor little guy. You get your cone off tomorrow, buddy. Okay, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and share.